Hi everybody, back to our January card class with our final card for today, and that's our technique card, and we're doing the faux tile technique. And I had a lot of fun playing with this technique, and I'll give you some little tips and tricks for this technique. For the card base, what I'm using is the, let's see, I think it was Sending Good Things. Anyhow, it was the add-on cards for the last paper pumpkin kit, and they sold out really early, but I do have some extras of these cards, and they come with the fun colors and then the printed envelopes. And so that's what I've been giving away for my online orders this month, as I've been sending a few of these card fronts to people, because there's so much you can do to decorate them. This is the one we're doing today, but here's a couple other ones I did. And I did throw a few away because it took me a little while to figure out the best way to do this technique. This one I did without the embossing on it, and then these two I added the clear embossing, and you can see that makes them kind of shiny, and they look even more like tiles. So in the live class tomorrow, we'll have this out so you can do the embossing. But if you just want to do one of the ones without the embossing, it still looks good, and you still get that effect of those gaps between the score lines. So another tip is, if you are going to be using your paper trimmer, make sure you use a scoring stylus like this, and not the scoring blade that comes with your trimmer, because you're not going to get a nice deep groove, because you really need that deepness to be able to get that effect. And I used the big background stamp, so this was stacked stone, and we're going to be using in class the dry brush background stamp, but you can also use smaller stamps and just kind of tuck them in pretty tight together, so that you're going to get a lot of variation between those score lines and the raised image that you're going to be stamping, so you can see how that works. And I guess we should just get going here. So instructions will be posted soon. I meant to do that this morning, but didn't quite get to it. All right, now where did I put my kit for this card? I think it is. Well, there's my sample. Someplace here had one out. Oh, there it is. Okay, we'll do the balmy blue one. Okay, so I gave everybody a panel here, and if you don't want to do the technique at all, you can just use your panel to stamp on, and that's good to go too. And you can do any size of your grooves here. I'm doing every 1/2 inch. You could also do every inch. I also made my card base a little different than the usual, so I didn't have any odd squares, so the squares were all even. So usually you do 5 1/4 this way and 4 inches this way, but instead I did 4 inches by 5 inches, just so I could get even squares. And it leaves a little bigger gap at the top and the bottom, so if you don't like that, you can use the usual one, but then you're going to end up with a partial square. So I guess this is not a good technique if you're OCD, but anyhow, we're going to have fun with it. So you want to make nice deep grooves, and I'm using the Simply Scored tool, but again, you can use your trimmer as long as you're using a scoring tool like this that helps you make really nice deep grooves, because you're basically stamping on the raised portion, and then where you've made the grooves, where the score lines are, is going to stay white, and that's what's going to give you that tile look. Okay, so that didn't take very long, and there I've got my scoring done. So set that down and get to stamping next. Okay, so let me grab that big background stamp, and I'm using basic gray, that kind of matches the card for my sample, although it would have been cool, I guess, if I had done the blue one to match the card that I'm using here. That would be cool. But anyways, I have the gray out, so we'll just go ahead with the gray and cover up this large background stamps. I always forget about these big stamps, but they have such a cool effect. There's also a sunbeam, which might work well also with this technique. So, okay, so I think we're ready to go. And I could put this down like that and then just pat it with a paper, which I don't have ready, so I guess I'll just try it like this and stamp it right down on my grid paper. Give some nice pressure there. And voila, there it is with my grids. You can really see those tiles. So really a cool effect, and I could mount that right like it is and it would look really good. But why not take it one step more and do the embossing too? So let me wave this a little bit to dry it, and then we're going to tap on our Versamark ink. Now this is a technique you can use with any cards, just to give your whole entire card or panel a shiny raised look, and that is just to put the clear embossing over the whole surface. There's all sorts of different techniques you can use the clear embossing powder for, but basically we're just dabbing it on, and you can't really see what's happening because it's Versamark, which is clear, but as long as your pad is juicy enough, you should be getting a good coverage there. And I've got this embossing tool kit, so we will go ahead and use it today. It's got a, I guess I'm going to need to unscrew that so we can put our extra embossing powder back in the bowl. There's also an embossing buddy that comes with it, which we won't use today because we want the whole thing to be covered with embossing powder. And I love these tweezers that come with it. They have a ceramic tip, and they're really easy to use for anytime you don't want your fingers to be covered in what you're working with or get too close to the heat tool. Okay, looks like I have it all covered there. And I'm going to start heating this now. And I guess this might take a little while, so sorry about that. I should have had one ready to go. If it's taking too long, I'll jump ahead and show you what I did for the next step. So let's get this heated up here. And you can tell when it's starting to emboss because it'll start getting shiny. So you've got the white powder now, and then in just a minute it'll start getting shiny. Okay, you can see in the center it's getting a little shiny there. So I'm going to move to the outside. Okay, you can see how the center has that shiny look to it. And I'm going to turn this off and jump ahead on steps because it's taking too long, but you can see how that's going to look, and it melts the powder and gives you that shiny tile look. So let me set that aside and I'll finish that later. But here's the next step to the card. I've given everybody in the kit a heart, again punched out with that country bouquet bundle, and we have some words here, and those are from the Love for You bundle, and it comes with the I'm just using For You, but there's also So Much Love. And there's 3 layers to each word, so I'm just using the two layers, and then there's even a larger bubble that you can use. And these words are really, really fine, so I really recommend using the adhesive sheets when you are when you're working with these. So you would put the adhesive sheet on the cardstock. So I just covered a quarter sheet of cardstock with black cardstock with the adhesive sheet, and then I cut out all the words for everybody. And now I just need to peel off that backing, and now it's all sticky. You can see how fine that is and how difficult that would be to put glue on and not have it go all over the place. And we'll just tuck that in so it's in the right orientation. And my sample used the glimmer paper and the gold one. This one is I think it's the sweet succulent color. So if you have a kit, you'll have one or the other of those. And then we'll get out the next word. And yeah, if you have the kit, I did put the adhesive sheet on your smaller words, so they'll be easy to layer on together like that. So there's the for and the U. I didn't do the adhesive sheet for the larger ones because they seemed like they would be easier to just put a little glue on the back. So what you're going to do is, once you have your panel done, glue it to your card, add the heart with a little bit, a dimensional, yes, pop it up with a dimensional, and then put a little bit of the adhesive, or just the liquid glue, under the Y for the U, so that'll attach there, and then under the R, or the OR, for that piece. And then what I did was, I don't think I put anything else under there. You could take a small dimensional, mini one, and put it under there if you wanted to, but I just left it like that, so I think that works good. Anyhow, hope you enjoyed this technique, and it was a lot of fun for me to experiment with, and hope you enjoy it. So happy crafting, everyone.